Hey everyone! So in my last video, we discussed how the American government misled and lied to us about the founding of America. Today we're going to discuss the Declaration of Independence. Considering it's one of our country's founding documents, it never hurts to take a closer look. Now, not the whole thing. Today we'll just discuss a group of texts on the very first page. And when necessary, I will provide you with text translations. This document is over 250 years old and can be a little hard to understand at times. So when I do translate, I will read that translated version in an effort to provide you with optimum understanding. So first page, second paragraph reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." I want to stop here for a moment to just acknowledge that these men that created and wrote this document were slave owners, or they were men okay enough with slavery to not abolish it. As they were writing about how important freedom is amongst all men due to their own unjust suffering at the hands of their former government, they still treated other human beings as property and used them to build their new world. Their ill-intended hypocrisy already bleeds through onto the very first page of the Declaration of Independence. And also, I want you to reflect on those certain unalienable rights and decide for yourself if you believe they've been upheld by our government or not. For me, they haven't been. In my opinion, if we truly had the unalienable right to life, we could never be denied life-saving medical treatments due to lack of funds. If we truly had the unalienable right to liberty, we wouldn't have to produce monetary value to merely exist here. If we truly had the unalienable right to the pursuit of happiness, gay or interracial marriage wouldn't have ever been illegal. Those are just a few examples of injustices we suffer in this country. So what's your opinion? What do you think? Now moving on to the next group of text, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such a way that to the citizens their safety and happiness is held in the highest of regards. Now, great caution will ensure that governments long established should not be changed for trivial or insignificant reasons. But all experience has shown that mankind is more likely to suffer under an unjust government rather than putting themselves first by abolishing these injustices, for they are accustomed to them. They're referring here to our comfort zones. People are willing to stay unhappy if that unhappiness is familiar or comfortable to them. Now continuing on, but when the people have suffered a train of abuses under a self-serving totalitarian government, it is their right, it is their duty to abolish such government and to begin anew, to establish and provide security and freedom in such a way that benefits all. We have experienced a gross neglect of our rights by our government in Britain, which is why we have decided to alter our former government and create a new, true democracy, one for the people, by the people. Now, all of that would have sounded pretty good to me if our government had actually upheld those standards. In my opinion, they've done the exact opposite of everything they promised. Their reasonings for altering their former government and creating a new one are the exact reasons why it needs to be done again today. They embodied and became the government they fled. At every turn, some form of injustice is occurring in our country, whether it be climate injustice, racial injustice, social injustice, medical injustice, etc., etc. They knew this new government wasn't going to be perfect, and that corruption and neglect was an extreme possibility, which is why on the very first page of the Declaration of Independence, they state the people's duty to make sure their rights are being constantly upheld, and if they're not, to abolish and reestablish a better governing system. Everything they were running away from, they recreated here. I know changing what you're accustomed to is easier said than done, but we're alive right here, right now, for a reason. It's because we can do this. We were made to do this. Taking steps to create a better world or a better government should never be a taboo subject. So if they aren't willing to truly change, are we? As always, keep an open mind, do your own research, and think for yourself. Sending so much love.